Hi everybody, it's Diana with stampingwithdie.com. Welcome to this week's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. If you are new to my channel, I'm Diana Gibbs and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. So welcome to my channel. And if you have been here before, I'm going to make sure I'm in the right spot. All right, good. Um, I want you to say hi, even if you've been here before. Make sure you say hi. I love our little chats on the side. I usually try to keep an eye on that to see if there's any questions or anything like that. If I do miss a question or something you need help with, make sure you put it below in the comments once the video's over. And then YouTube will let me know that you have a question, or you can just email me as well. So Mimeograph Monday just basically means I'm going to case out of the catalog. But Mimeograph starts with an M like Monday, so that's why I call it that. So, and then I started doing the with a twist, and that is just, I do it a little bit different. Like one card like the catalog, and then I do one a little bit different. And I love doing this because it's fun, right? To just force is the right word. But it makes me maybe use a stamp set that I haven't used before, right? And this is the case with this one. I've had it since the catalog came out, and this is the first time I've used it. And it is super cute. I'm like, what was I waiting for? So anyway, so yeah, so if you have any questions, we have quite a few people here today. So Stacy and Dawn and Joanne, Deborah, Ann is here. Aloha, Minda. And Sandy and Teresa and Mary, Ellen, and Lily. And Ann's here too. Oh, good. So maybe it'll make you use it because it does have a coordinating die, and I love a stamp set that has a die that goes with it. And this one definitely has a cute die. So let me stop blabbing and we will get started. All right, there we go. Make sure you're not looking up my nose. All right, straighten that up a little bit. All right, so Monday. If you are placing an order, this is my Hostess code for the month. If you are in one of my stamp clubs, this isn't your code because you have a special code. But if you're just placing an order, you know, this is the you want to use. And then if you order 50 before tax and shipping, you get like a reward point. And I have a chart, so I send you an email after you place your order, and the chart is included on there. And once you accumulate 12 orders or a dozen, then you get 35 and free whatever you want out of the catalog from me as a thank you. If you order 75 in the month, then I have goodies and guts. So there's a bunch of stuff. But if you are ordering over 150 before tax and shipping, don't use the code because then you'll get your own Hostess benefits. So I know that's a lot of blabbering at the very beginning. All right, so we have, this is what I'm using. So Season's Blessings. And what's cool is it is a really good all-around stamp set, right? I mean, it can be Christmas because it says Season's Blessings, but it doesn't say Christmas. But this could definitely be used as a poinsettia. But it's just a fun set. All right. So anyway, and then it has its matching die. So you've got a lot of cute pieces in there that cut out all the different shapes. So I love that. And then I'm also using the tailor-made dies. Now, the card I'm going to do is in the main catalog. I've also been trying to make myself use the main catalog. So this is the card that I'm going to do right here. So I got my recipe. And then I like to always look at sometimes it's hard to see the card, right? Like sometimes it's really hard to see all the details on the card. So there is one thing that they used I didn't do, and then there's something that was not mentioned that I did use. So it is what it is. And then so the tailor-made tags, I'm going to be using those. It is a photopolymer stamp set. So when you have a photopolymer stamp set, you want to use your little foam pad because it stamps better that way. It gives you a little bit of gushiness. Hey, Nancy. All right, so I need that. All right, so let me get my supplies here. All right, so the main card is, all right, let me get some paper to stamp on. All right, so let me stamp my pieces and then we'll go over what I'm using. All right, so we have soft succulent. So it is a solid stamp set, right? So there'll be a lot of ink colors. And that's one thing people will ask if they're a new stamper, if they're getting their starter kit, they always go, what should I pick on my order or my starter kit? And I always say, pick your stamp sets first, because then you'll know what you need supply-wise. This is cinnamon cider. If you are picking a solid stamp like this one, you're going to need a lot, not a lot, but you will need ink colors, right? If you pick an open line stamp, and you know those are my favorite, if you pick an open line stamp, then you're going to need something to color it in with, you know, things like that. So that's what I always ask people. What stamps are you getting? What kind of, what is your draw? Some people don't like to sit in color. Some people like to stamp quick and be done. So that's one thing I always ask people. Okay, so let's get some stamping done. So we have this awesome, they could be eucalyptus. Maybe they're eucalyptus. I'm always trying to figure out what things are, right? We were doing the cactus and I couldn't figure out what that was. So this is just soft succulent. This is one of the new greens. And I'm just going to stamp this on here. And then I'm going to die cut it out. So, all right, there's that. And then to color the leaves, we're going to use finger daubers or the sponge daubers. Better late than never. Yes, and Lady Di, I just started. Oh, yay! I know it is fun to do the lives because then you can we can kind of chat, right? Some people like that, some people don't, but you know, it is what it is. Okay, so I'm going to get these little leaves over here, and I'm going to color my leaves with the finger daubers. So I'm going to use a couple different colors. So what you want to do, because I'm going to make two colors on the one leaf, you want to start with the lighter color first. So let's see, I want this big leaf here, and I'm going to use daffodil and cinnamon cider. So I'm just going to take my finger dauber and I'm going to ink up this side of that leaf, and I'm just going to drop this in here, and that just keeps my mess in the coffee filter and not on my desk. All right, now this is cinnamon cider, so that's going to come around this edge, and then you're going to breathe on it quite a bit, right? And what that does is it moistens up that ink, because when you use the sponge daubers, that's a little more drying than if you just ink like that. All right, so let's see, we want one that size. Then there's one that's a little smaller, and I'm just going to do the same thing. So daffodil and cinnamon. And it's just giving you this really pretty ombre kind of look. Would you call that ombre? And then we're going to use the tiniest one, and we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to go daffodil, but this time I'm going to use some green. So I want garden green, and these are just the sponge daubers, and then I just used a label maker to write the name on it. All right. Green, green, green. All right, now I would need two of those. I also need a greeting. Let's see. Oops, I dropped my paper on the floor. All right. All right. Now my greeting's going to go on my tag. All right. So I'm just going to put my greeting on my tag. Where's my greeting? So thankful. Here we are. And I'm going to do that with the cinnamon cider. All right. So thankful for you. So that's on my cute little tag. All right. I'll just set this aside. All right, so we're gonna let those dry. All right, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run them through the die, but I did that ahead of time just to save some time. All right, so here's my pieces. But what's cool is this image stamps together, like it stamps in one stamp. It also die cuts like in one piece, but it's actually two pieces. So that's kind of cool. All right, so then I have my leaves that I already did. And then with the soft succulent cardstock, this is the little hole protectors. Is that what you would call them? Hole reinforcers. That might be what they're called, reinforced holes. For my tag. All right, so let me just set this aside. And then what I want to do is, so we have this cute little basket. Look at the basket. Is that not the cutest little thing you've seen? All right, so I'm going to bring my grid sheets over. It's just so fun. It's like what home decor would use, right? Hey, Sharon. Hey, Carol. All right, so we have that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Versamark pad, and I have my heat gun over here. I moved it over to my desk, and I'll see if I leave it here or not, because it's sitting there. But I just need to remember to unplug it, and I feel like when it was over where I usually kept it, I didn't use it all the time, so I just knew to unplug it, and I'm afraid if it's at my desk, it will be easier for me to forget to unplug it. So I put a big sign, unplug. All right, so what I've got is my cute little basket. I'm going to take my Versamark pad, and I'm just going to ink up the bottom of the basket with Versamark. And then I've just got my white embossing powder in this little plastic container. And then I'm just going to tap it off. And then it's on here. All right, so let me bring my heat gun over and hope I don't burn my desk. All right, so now we're going to heat this up. Hopefully you can see that. So now I'm heating this up. But I want it to be extra white. So while it's heated and hot, I'm going to stick it back in the embossing powder, and it's going to stick again. So you can do that several times because it stays hot and wet for a little bit of time. So I'm doing the same thing off camera. I'm just sticking it in there a little bit so that it's going to get good and thick on the bottom of that basket. That's good right there. All right. So look how cool that basket is. Isn't that neat? So it looks like one of those home decor kind of basket that's painted. And it's still a little wet, right? I've got like 3 coats of embossing powder on there. All right. Let's get that out of the way. Okay, so we're just going to set that over there to dry and bring our card over. So our card is Evening Evergreen. And I didn't even notice this when I was doing the card. Now I'm going to just put all those on the table. But there's actually leaves stamped on here. And I didn't even see that. So I need to wash my big leaf because we're going to use Evening Evergreen on Evening Evergreen. Now you could use the Versamark pad, and Evening Evergreen was not mentioned in the supply list. So I have a feeling that's what they did. I've got like embossing powder on my pad, so that's probably why I emboss over to another station. Oh my gosh. All right. So but I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen on Evening Evergreen. But Versamark just is like a shade darker. So it's kind of like your Versamark pad is however many ink colors we have. 48? Is it 48? It's like double, right? Because it makes everything a shade darker. All right. So let's see here. So we're going to just put the big leaf on the card, just kind of trickling along the bottom. And look how cool. I was like, why have I not used this stamp? Look how cute that leaf is. Oh, it's such a fun little shape. And I think is that an oak leaf? I think that's an oak leaf, isn't it? I don't know. Again, I'm not a botanist. Is that botany? I don't even know. I'm a stamper. But it's cute. It's cute. I don't care what kind it is. So anyway, so I'm just putting that just along the bottom. Then I'll have to remember to clean that. All right. So then we can put our card together. Now I have 3 pieces of DSP. And these are from In Good Taste. And I just cut them at 1-inch strip, like 1-inch thickness. And it looks like they use their scissors to rough up the edge. And you totally can, right? Like I've done that before where you rough up the scissors. But the bone folder works too, and it won't cut you, right? Like if you miss, you're not going to cut yourself. And I'm just scuffing up the edge. And what that does is it almost makes your DSP, or you can do the same thing with your cardstock, it makes it look thicker because it's kind of bending the edge, and it just makes the cardstock or DSP look thicker. So anyways, now they also did say they used an embossing folder, and I think they used the textile embossing folder on this DSP, but this already has so much texture to it, just the design on it. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to use the embossing folder because this paper already has that visual. Oh, you did the one card wonder? I love doing that. I need to do that more often, right? Stamp in the center and get 4 cards out of it. I'm glad, Sharon. So I'm just scuffing up the edge. And it's just going to, and that way visually too, when I put it on the card, because they're all the same color, they're going to have more of a definition between each other. Because they're 1-inch strips and they're cut at 5 1/4. So they're the same size too. All right, so where is my adhesive? Every time, right? I'm always looking for my adhesive. All right, so I'm just going to put that on the card. And I'm just sticking on. I'm not trying to be straight. I'm just sticking that on there. And I can feel embossing powder everywhere. I'll have to get some packing tape, and I'll just lightly lay it on my ink pad, and it will take that embossing powder right off. All right, so then I'll stick one kind of here. And then this one's going to go in the center, and I'm going to use glue dots so that it stands out a little bit, so it's even more visually different than the other 2. And I'm going to make it come down a little bit. There. So it's not even, right? So then you can see that there's 3 pieces there. All right, so let's bring our basket over. So we're going to put our basket on here, but let's get our flowers, our leaves. All right. So I'm going to put these on the card. So I know the basket goes here. So I'm going to get some glue dots because the basket's see-through, right? It's like a wicker basket. So I want my leaves to be on the card. So they'll be on the card instead of, they're in the basket, but I mean, they're not being glued in the basket. They're going to be glued on the card. All right. So that one's going to go in there. And so see what I mean? It gives 2 pieces. And then this one's here. So I'm just using glue dots. And like that. All right. Now the basket's going to go here, but what I want to do is I want to kind of fold it a little bit. I want to visually give it some 3D. So I'm just giving it a bend, And it's super pliable because it's got all those holes in it, right? Like you can really bend it. All right, so I'm just giving it a bend. Now I know it's gonna go here, so see how it comes out? Like it like sticks out, like it visually looks like a basket. So I know I'm going to put my tag here and I'm gonna put another leaf there. So I'm gonna take a glue dot and stick a glue dot there and stick a glue dot here. So that's gonna hold my basket in place. And I'm gonna glue it on there like bent as well, right? So you can see that that basket is sticking out like a real basket. Okay. So then let's get our leaves and the little reinforcers, all these other little pieces, right? Need all these little pieces. All right. So I want this leaf, and I'm going to put these on with dimensionals. So let me get my baby dimensionals. Right. So, and these will also give a pop of dimension too, right? Because they've got that 3 colors going. All right, so we have that. Put a couple on the big leaves. I have like a piece of glue on my finger. All right. So let's put this on. So we actually had company this weekend. We haven't had company probably a couple years, right? From Minnesota. My friend Patsy Wagner was here and her husband Tom. And it was so much fun. We played games and we had barbecue and it was so fun. All right. And then I'm just going to stick this one here. So these are kind of in the basket, right? Just like you would for real life. All right. And this one's up in here. And then we're going to put a little one down here on the bottom. And this, so see, these are covering. And then I'm going to put my tag. So these are covering where I put that glue. All right, so let's get my green tip glue. I'm going to put a little bit of green tip glue just there. And my pick tool. And that's going to hold that on there good enough, right? I mean, it's not like it's going to be in a hurricane or something. So I'm just putting my glue here. And this is just reinforces that hole. Kind of like if you got like tags at the office supply or something, right? They would have that little reinforcer. All right. Then we want some linen thread. So I'm going to cut some linen thread. So I'm going to do a twist card after this one. And you'll have to let me know which you like the best because I didn't actually finish the twist one. I have all my pieces ready, so visually it's going to look good. But I didn't actually make one to see. All right, but I love those leaves sneaking out of the edge there. All right, so we're going to put dimensionals on there for our tag. And I still have to do the inside of the card. All right, so that's going to go right there. And then I'm going to tie a bow. So this is already looped on there. Like you could leave it plain. But I'm going to tie a bow on here. But now that it's on the card, it's going to be easier to tie, and that tag's going to stay in place. It's not going to be flip-flopping all around. All right, so let me tie and snip. So look how cute. All right, let me do the inside. My inside pieces. All right, so the inside is just going to be basic white. And I just got more of this DSP. And since the card is visually, like it's like a tall card, right? Since it's visually going, I'm going to put my DSP on the inside of the card up and down. Like usually I put it along the bottom, right? But this weave or whatever looks like it's going up and down. So I want to continue that. So it's the same as the front of the card. Hey, Brenton, good morning. And Dolph is here too. All right. So let's trim these tails, and then we can put our greeting on the inside as well. All right. So the greeting is going to be in the cinnamon cider. Here it is. With that embossing powder on it. All right. May your day be filled with good things. I love the font on this set too. It's like so fun. It's like capitals and little letters and some writing. It's all good things, just like this says. All right, so let me glue this in the inside. And then we can go to the twist card. All right. This one was kind of hard to do the twist because it's such a cute card. Like I told you before, I said sometimes there might not be a twist, but then when I did my little, when I set up my event or whatever, I did with a twist. I'm like, oh, now I need to come up with a twist. But isn't that the cutest card? All right, so here's the one I was looking at. So very, very similar. Very similar. All right, so let's do the twist. Let's do the twist. That sounds like we're going to do a dance. All right, so let me bring these over. So I need to wash these so we don't have any contamination. All right, so I'm washing my stamp. So just off to the side, I have a scrub pad. And I'm just cleaning those off to the side there. All right, so let me get this other stuff. So like I said, this was just me cutting paper going, I think that would look cute. I think that would look cute. All right, so let's just see. Let's see if my mind is good. Because sometimes, you know, you'll think of something in your head and it'll be right. It'll be just perfect. And other times you'll go, oh, that was not good. All right. So what I'm going to do is instead of using the evening evergreen for my big leaf in the background of my card, I'm going to use the Whisper White pad. Oh, now Teresa, sometimes I don't put anything on the inside like talking wise, but I usually try to put something on the inside. All right. All right. Now, someone will get a thank you card that won't be in the inside and they'll go, what? All right. So I'm just going to do the same thing as I did with the evening evergreen, but I'm just going to use the white pad instead. So now you can visually see that leaf like a lot better than just a tone on tone. And you can air dry it. It doesn't take a lot of time, so I'll probably just let it air dry. And if it's not dry when I'm ready to use the card, then I'll just use my heat gun and heat set it. But it won't take, like you can already see, it's changing a little bit. It's kind of getting opaque, and then you know that it's dry. It goes to like a matte, kind of like a matte finish. All right. So let's see. I'm going to have to wash that. Don't let me forget. Now I want to do the same thing to the basket that I did before, just because I love the look of that. I love how that looks. Now, I could go like this. I could, but you know what I might do? I'm going to use my leaf and put my white on with my leaf. Just so so I have a little bit more control. I can see where it's going. So it's the same thing, but you can see the white. So it stays just like it did with the Versamark. Heat, heat, heat. Try not to cook anything on your desk. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stick it in the embossing powder while it's still warm and tacky, and give it a couple coats. So that part I didn't change because I loved the effect that it gave. I just loved that so very much. All right, so that was 3 coats. So 3 coats, there's that. Now I'm going to unplug my heat gun right now so that I don't forget. Okay, let's see. I have an extra piece. That's kind of a cool tip. Let's just see. Hang on a minute. I want to see. This is just me going, what? Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, that looks kind of cool. See, look at it. It was like kissing. Remember I showed that technique where you kiss it? So that kind of gives you that same kind of idea, right? Because it's got the texture of that basket on here. So I should have went ink, basket, there. But I don't want to now because I've embossed it. But that was kind of cool. It gave a technique or a texture to my leaf. All right. So I'm cleaning that up because I want to do the same thing with my colors. All right. But you don't need to see me do the sponging on the leaves. But I do want to show you a different way to ink up the big leaf. All right. So I want to show you a different way to ink up the big leaf. So I'm not going to do the little leaves because I'm basically doing the same thing, right? With the finger daubers, the sponge daubers. But I'm going to ink up the big one and give it a little bit more pizzazz than just stamping it in the soft succulent. So I'm going to stamp it in the soft succulent, just like I did before. But before I stamp it on my cardstock, I'm going to take my evening evergreen. So I have an evening evergreen sponge dauber as well. And I'm inking that up and I'm just touching the edges. Now it makes a mess on your block, but that's okay. So I'm just touching the edges with the evening evergreen. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to breathe on it really, really good. Really, really. I feel like one of those velociraptors. All right. So now, look at how cool that oh my gosh, I'm about ready to pass out. About hyperventilated. Oh my gosh, I'm all dizzy. I see those stars everywhere. If I all of a sudden stop talking, you'll have to call 911. All right, so let's see. So doesn't that look cool? So let's show you the difference, right? So here is just the soft succulent. And then that's with the tips added. So isn't that cool? So visually, it's got more texture to it. It has more dimension. All right, just by adding that little bit of dark to the edge. And then I'm just going to die cut it out. So like before, I did that already. All right, so I have my pieces. So see how visually, I also did a leaf the same way. So I have the soft succulent in the evening evergreen. So I did the evening evergreen there as well. These leaves, I did the same. All right, so let's see. This still looks like it might be, oh, but I unplugged that. That's all right. I got stuff to do here before I do the card. All right, So I also chose different DSP. Oh, you would never have thought to use the powder on the basket. Actually, I might not have either, but I was just following the recipe in the catalog. All right, so I'm using different DSP. So I have like, I wanted it to look like a wall, right? Like this might be like a, what do you call that? When you do a scenery? Oh my gosh. It sounds French, but I can't think what it is. A vignette, vignette or something like that. All right. So I'm covering this. This is also, so you're not going to see a lot of these because of this is pretty pretty big. I probably could have trimmed it a little bit, but these leaves are tall, so I'm just going to leave it that height. But that's why I did these white too, because this is kind of white, right? This DSP has got like a white look to it. So I just kind of wanted it to visually have like the white here as well as the white there. We're going to do the same thing where we have our doohickeys. All right. I'm trying to get all my little pieces. All right. That's the inside. Too many things on my desk. All right, so I also want to change the color of my greetings, so I need to wash them. Wash, wash, wash. All right, because I want to do my greeting with the evening evergreen that I've now closed. Heavens to Betsy. All right, so I'm going to do my So Thankful for You. So I'm going to go soft succulent because it's lighter. And then just on the edge, I'm going to go with the evening. So you can do that when you go light to dark. You don't want to do it the other direction. So now I have this ombre look. So can you see that? So it's got that dark, and then it gets darker, lighter, 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 and then it goes lighter. So can you see that? So it just changes that visual a little bit. All right, the inside of the card, because I'm still letting that wet white dry, so that's why I'm kind of like bouncing all over with what I'm doing here. All right, so now let me do the inside. So I have this long piece. I don't need this whole piece, but it is what it is. All right, so same thing. I'm going to put it along the side because it is like a wall. So I don't want to put it along the bottom. I mean, I could, but it's a tall card. Could have just looked like a brick wall on the bottom, but oh well. I'm doing it on the top. All right. So there's that. Then I also, while things are drying over there, this stamp set also comes with a really cool little basket. So I'm going to use Crumb Cake ink because it was Crumb Cake cardstock that the basket was die cutted out right here. This was Crumb Cake. So I want to do Crumb Cake ink just to kind of keep things all in sync, right? So there's a method to my madness. All right, so we're going to go Crumb Cake. So there's a little basket right here. Crumb Cake. And then I'm going to go right into the dark. Like, just because we've got that Crumb Cake there. So I'm going right into the evergreen, evening evergreen. So I've got my basket. And then I'm just going to put this right here. So it's kind of like it's either going out of the basket or in the basket. But may your day be filled with good things. All right. So I need to close my embossing powder. If you could only see, you can kind of get an idea of how much mess I have on my desk. All right. So let's put our card together. This goes on the inside. I think I'm done with my ink pads. I could probably close them. Because you know I'm going to drop something in one of them. All right, so that's going to go on the inside. So let's put, so that's pretty good. That's pretty dry. All right, so I'm gonna put that on here. This is such pretty paper too, right? But this is too much. It's too much. That's why I use this side. Because I was looking at some different DSPs and this one was the better. We have that other brick wall and it was too much. It was just too much. Like you need to have, your eyeball needs to be able to rest. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm still bending that little basket. We're still gonna put this together the same way, right? Because it's just so much easier. I'm also going to add a little bit of bling bling to this one. All right, so let me get my glue dots here. So we're going to add some bling. I'm going to use a different baker's twine. So that's going to give it visually a different look as well. But it's really the same card. All right, so we've got this, but now this is a solid piece, right? So we don't have all of that going on, you know, in the background. So that allowed me to, you know, have a little bit more play with my leaves. All right, but I love the look of doing the edges of the leaves, right? Okay, so these are going to go on again with dimensionals. Our basket, the same way. We're going to put a little glue dot over here. In case you're just joining us, we're putting a little glue dot over here and down here. And that's going to hold the basket on the card. But it's going to get covered when we put the other pieces on. So I'm just kind of bending this so that my basket actually like sticks out like a real basket would. All right, so stick that on there. Squish, there we go. All right, let me get my baby glue dots. Okay, so putting our glue dots on. So do you like when I do the twist cards? I know it makes the video longer, so I made sure when I set up the event reminder in our Facebook group, if you're not in on my Facebook group, make sure you reach out so you can join. It's just Stamping with Die, and then that's where I put the event reminders. All right, so we're going to do the same thing. Now I don't have any of these colors on the card anywhere else, but I still love the look of that, like that fall kind of look in there. All right, so this one's going to go down here. So that covers that glue dot there. I'm going to stick that one down in there a little bit more. And then same with this one, kind of inside the basket, just a little bit more. All right, because I want to put some bling. All right, so let's see here. We're going to do this. Now I'm going to use, this is part of the, hang on a minute. I had the little bag here. It's the sports. It's in the mini catalog. Oh my gosh. It is the sports set. I'm like, oh, here it is, here it is. Behind me. This is the fan baker's twine. So you've got 3 different twines. So that's where I got this from. Because I thought, you know what? I'm going to change my baker's twine too. Because hey, why not? Why not? Because look how cute it looks with it. It was like made for it. And I cut this so stinking long. Like that's incredibly long, but that's okay. You wouldn't do that. You'd have more sense. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna stick it on like that, and this is enough for 6 cards. All right, so this is gonna go on here. So just doing this, but I mean, it's basically the same card, but just changing the colors a little bit. The DSP, it makes it feel totally different, doesn't it? Oh, you love when I do the twist? Oh, yay! it is fun. I like to challenge myself for sure. All right. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? But that's okay. No big deal. I didn't put the little reinforcers on there. But personally, I don't think I would want to put them on there because I like this dark green twine. Oh, it ties so nice. So I used the linen thread on the other one. And this is the twine. I just have to fiddle fart with it turning. Look at that. Good grief. All right. That was way too much. But look how cute that is. All right. Then I want to put a little bit of bling bling. And this is the rhinestone waves. So these are part of the ocean wave. Remember? I did that card on Friday. Here's that card I did. So these are part of this collection. You know, you can get them individually, but they're part of the Ocean of the Waves. I know I'm not saying waves of inspiration. Oceans of inspiration. Good grief, Diana. Waves of the ocean. So anyways, I want to use these because these got some blues and greens and everything. So I'm going to grab, because they're not identical to these colors, but I think they're still visually going to be really cute. So I'm going to stick some of these on there. And look how cute that is. Oh my gosh. That is stinking cute. That's really cute. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got to do uneven. That's the law. That's the law, see? Did you ever watch, what was that one with Brooke Shields? Blue Lagoon. And that guy was going, that's the law, see? And he's explaining to the two kids. As a kid, I liked that show. I don't know why, but I did. All right, so look how cute that is. So let me show you the other one so we can see, you know, the differences. I could trim these a little bit still. They're like taking over the card. I like to have them to be a little bit long just because I like that longness. So here is the one from the catalog. And then here is my twist. So it's basically the same card. The inside I did a little bit differently. But it's fun. I love the challenge of it. And I challenge you to do the same thing. Just look through our catalog is full of not only to order out of, but I mean to get ideas. They're like so full. Oh, you love them both. The green twine shows up so much more. It totally does, right? Especially how high up I have the thing. Let me scoot. Hold on. I'll make you seasick. I don't want anyone seasick. There, because I can scoot down now that I'm done. So you can see them a little better. But yes, so visually you can definitely see the twine, you know, the green twine better. I don't miss the little, you know, reinforcement things on there. So, do you like the white leaves? I like either one. I liked stamping on here so it wasn't plain. So, but I'm glad that you like them. I'm glad you like them, Lily. All right, so let's see. Flip, flip, flip. So yeah, so thanks for liking the card. But I didn't have now, but usually I have two, right, when it's done. But I made that one on the video. I mean, I cut the pieces out and I did the colors, but I didn't know if it would work. But it did. So, oh, you like, so I'm glad. It did turn out, and I love that basket. Oh my gosh. And then, I just ran it through. I did have to, and every machine is different, so I did have to put a shim, and that was just an extra piece of cardstock, to get the little pieces out of the basket. And then all I did was I laid the basket on like that foam or whatever. And then I just took my pick tool. You know, it has this little, you can switch out the brush. And I just went bang, 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 bang. Like I just was hitting it. Like I didn't go like this. Because the first one I went like this. And it is so delicate. It really bent. It didn't break, but it bent it. So the next time I just went like this. And then the pieces just, you know, fell out. So just, you know, try it without a shim. And if you have problems with your basket, then, you know, try a shim, you know, the next time. Sometimes it's simply go through, you know, once and then come back. So go through like twice. So just, you know, just give it a try if you are having trouble. But, oh, that basket is so fun. So really, it's really, really fun. So I did enjoy doing this card, and I can't believe I haven't played with that stamp set before now, but you guys are keeping me busy with the Mimeograph Mondays, which is good. I need that. All right, so oh, you like the green leaves better, so they're not like in your face? Yeah. So I just wanted to try something different. So, but I love putting the leaves on there, whether they're in the green or the white, just so that that cardstock's not plain, right? And then sometimes you don't even realize things are done. It's just like there, and you go, oh, look, there's leaves there. So, but anyways, oh, while you're cooking dinner, well, we are having leftovers for supper. So Jeff had the day off. He had lost a crown, so he had to go to the dentist and get a crown put back on. So he took the day off so he could go to the dentist whenever they could say, get in here. So it's always weird having him home during the week, during a weekday, because then it makes me think it's the weekend. And it's not. It's Monday, Monday, Monday. Tomorrow is Tuesday, 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 which is my Teach Me Tuesdays episode 118. And so I will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock, same time, same channel. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I really appreciate it. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, bye for now.